Welcome to the Could Be Better podcast. I am here with my best friend, Colin McGuire, and this season of the Could Be Better podcast is brought to you in part by a ton of sponsors, but our most important sponsor is Old Mother Brewing Company, where you can buy all sorts of beers about all sorts of things that taste about pretty much whatever you want. And it's incredible. So I am actually, for the folks that are tuning into the live feed, I'm using my iPhone as my webcam, and so I cannot look up my read. But they have beers.
You could have told me I could have looked something up.
But I'm a terrible communicator, so it's all good. But speaking of things that aren't terrible, Texas Roadhouse is also our season 2 sponsor, and they are delicious. Colin, you and I just had dinner there. We sat underneath our billboard and we hung out with the staff, and we stayed there till close.
The amount of lies that were in those 4 sentences are wild to me. But I mentioned this to you not that long ago, and I do believe this. Anybody, I'm just going to put this out there right now because we have so many of these things. Anybody who goes to Texas Roadhouse and you find the Could Be Better sign, or as Chris said, billboard, and you take a picture of the Could Be Better billboard at Texas Roadhouse, you I don't know what you do. Post it on Instagram and tag us, send it to us, the face page, go to TikTok, do whatever you do.
The face page. And then if we see that you took a picture, you're going to get yourself a Texas Roadhouse gift card. So that's up to you, fellas and friends and women and fellas. I need to clarify one thing. We need you to post it to your actual grid, not this stories nonsense that you just do for your one-time dates. Another thing, we need you to show your true dedication and total tolerance for this show. So post it on your grid. Tag us and say meh. We will just accept the photo, but just give us meh. And you can touch our faces again, just on the billboard, or you can
touch my face any way you want.
We'll send you the man. My video is freezing real bad, guys.
Yeah, it is. But isn't that a good? There he goes. He's back. Yeah, he's back.
It didn't do this in the interview, but again, Texas. Stop! It wasn't that bad. But anyway, I know, guys, this is awful, embarrassing.
The more animated you get, the more that happens. So just don't move.
Okay,
there he goes. Oh, it's perfect.
So this is fine. And
you kind of look like Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards, right now.
It's the haircut. But anyway, so Texas Roadhouse, take a picture in front of the billboard poster thing, tag us, post it on Instagram, and it could be. It does board bills. And anyway, make sure, you don't have to buy anything from there. I mean, you could just go and take a picture if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you do that. And by the way, we have gift cards we have not given away yet that are worth $100 American dollars. So if you want that, that's all the free bread you need, right, Chris?
Are we doing the $100? Is that what this is? $100 gift card giveaway right now?
If we get multiple people who took photos of that sign, I guarantee you, because I can't even imagine one person doing this. So if there's a number beyond one, when it comes to the amount of people who've taken a picture of this sign at the Texas Roadhouse in Frederick, Maryland, you will be eligible for a $100 gift card. And if not, if you come out on the losing end of that, Chris and I will personally take you to dinner.
Yeah, that sounds like a thing that I will agree to now on the podcast. And lastly, folks, this podcast is brought to you by Special Tees. Special-Tees. Get 10% off your first order. If you tell them Could Be Better sent you, you'll hear it later in the show. So again, bands, friends, people that do events, just order your shit from them. They are great people, and they do awesome work, and they are friends of the show, friends of Frederick. Be a good citizen and get your shit printed through them. Now, Colin, did you faintly remember these guests that we had on the show today, which is Chrome Rodeo, when we bartended an infamous Could Be Better show at the Frederick Arts Council? What was your favorite? And I know it's not you and I bartending together, but what was your favorite memory of that night? Because you were popular the entire time.
I was not popular. You know what? I'm going to say, this is with all due respect to everybody, because everybody, pretty much everybody was there. I guess, ish. But at the end of the night, I had a conversation with these fellas we were supposed to play Good Charlotte songs with for the first ever emo night. And we had a lot of fun talking. I made promises I couldn't keep. They made promises they couldn't keep either. So hey, we're even. But it was a lot of fun talking to them. The performances were good, and of course, I would say the money, walking away with
Oh,
the tips.
we, you and I made so many tips, and I
I
thought about
know
it for a quick second. Maybe I
a
quit my
good
job and
six
be.
inches worth of tips.
I was like, maybe I quit my job and be a bartender with Colin for the rest of my life.
We could have done that. We really could have done that. It was a very good show. It's also, I mean, the way you talked in this interview. Spoiler alert. Stay tuned. Is that the last show that we end up doing there? Because I'm not hearing that anybody wants us back there to do shows. Is that correct?
I don't know if it's correct, but it's close. So fans, if you want to see another Could Be Better show at Frederick Arts Council, hit them up on their website.
I'm
Tell them
going to
we did.
start the list. I'm going to start the list. Here's the list. Number one on the list, 9:30 Club. Hey, you fucked us in exchange for that promotion. Nice knowing you. Number two, Frederick Arts Council. The hell's the problem, man? We had some good shows. We did some good stuff. We
Good
did some
show,
good stuff.
good stuff. Yes, yeah. One
And
thing,
we said, wasn't it like at capacity? We couldn't allow people in. I
it
mean,
was
come
amazing.
on. It was amazing. What's wrong? What's the problem? Hit us up. Hit
Yeah,
us up. Let us know.
I think it was like a sprinklers thing, and of course, there's all sorts of political stuff. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, Frederick just isn't built for all ages venues, which is okay because we're actually doing that at Old Mother. Which brings me to
No,
my
see, I reject this. I reject this on every level. Let me go on for just 1 minute because I know nobody's listening anyway. It doesn't matter. We only have 6 listeners, as you said multiple times. You look in slow motion right now, which was kind of cool. But everybody preaches you want to have change. Everybody preaches everything has to be different and blah, 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 blah. Look, the last time we ran the Frederick Arts Council building, Chris, and you, anytime you hear something I say that is not true, please interject and say it's not true. The last time we did it, we had people waiting outside because there were so many people in, you couldn't actually get in. That featured our guest today, Chrome Rodeo, too. They headlined. Did they not headline that night?
they did
Was it
headline.
them?
And what was
So,
crazy, we had a major music industry A&R rep
right,
coming out to that
that's
show as
true.
well too. It was a big
That's
show.
true. So now all of a sudden there are problems. There are problems with us wanting to put music in there, but maybe we can't, but maybe we can. But I don't understand. Our doors, our DMs, as the kids always say, are always open. We are happy and willing to work with everybody. But for some reason, the Frederick Arts Council says, hey, even if you are as successful as you can possibly be in this world, we're still not sure if we want you to come back, at least maybe once or twice. I don't know. That's pretty messed up to me. You go ahead, Chris.
No. I wasn't expecting, it's like I don't think anything you're saying is wrong. Some of the information may not be 100% accurate, which is okay. But at the end of the day, you're right. I think there's a logistics thing there. I think there's a desire that the current Frederick Arts Council doesn't have for local all ages shows that are run from outsiders, and that's okay. And again, you and I are as inside as you can get, but we're not necessarily on the council. So
I don't know what the problem is. Again, DMs are open. I know a lot of people there. They've got my phone number. I know they got your phone number, Chris.
mm-hmm.
Hey, let us know. We'd love to do some shows at that building, right, Chris?
Every day, all day. So yeah, so we are happy to have that conversation open. So again, for folks that are tuning in after they were sent this link, again, could be better meh at gmail.com. Hit us up, Instagram, whatever. Carrier pigeon, we take them all. I'm happy
right.
to make something work. And again, we are respectfully stating facts, but then also kind of asking what's up. So that being
Chris
said,
saying Colin said too much. I have to cover
no,
for this.
no. I cover for anything that makes me uncomfortable. But you know what didn't make me uncomfortable? Last Saturday, I got to experience you on the Old Mother stage and rocking out with your band, Double or Nothing, opening up for, I mean, at this point, they're a regional touring act.
Yes.
They did a great job. Probably and if we're pissing people off, they're probably my favorite, like, proggy stoner jam band in Frederick right now.
You are
Seven
going to
Teller.
piss some people off with that.
Yeah, so
It was
seven.
great. It was a great time. I didn't see you there. Ironically enough, you
I set up
avoided
your
me all night.
I set up your drums for you while you were stretching, and then as you were playing, I was off on the side. You couldn't see me because there's new lights now at Old Mother, and you weren't used to those. They bounced off your glasses. But
I should.
great set. You kept time like a motherfucking champ. And I need to know just real fast because we're kind of running out of time here because Chrome Radio needs to get on. And we need to hear that song again. My God, song's so good. Tell me what it was like for your first experience playing on the stage there with the new sound system and all that kind of stuff. Just tell the people, because not enough people know there's new speakers, there's new stage, there's new lights. It feels like Frederick's first all ages venue is like actually a real place. There's burgers there. You ate 2 burgers. It was fucking crazy. And you threw it all up in your last song. But anyway, tell the people what it was like.
I had this conversation recently. With somebody who knows a thing or two about booking music and doing music stuff in and around the Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and the DMV is what they say. I think this is the live room in Frederick right now. I really do. Like, the Old Mother guys have built it out. It sounds good. It looks good. With the addition of the is it the 50-50 burger? Meat people? 50-50 burger.
Yeah, the people that are made out of meat. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes. But it's like it's so it's so nice. It's a real room. It's a real room now, and I love to see it. There's actual lights. There's an actual stage. The stage is a real stage. The stage is 2 or 3 times as high as any stage we ever had at 200 East back 100 years ago. I just it's just a fantastic place to see music now. It really is. I think that is the room in Frederick, Maryland. So if that is all I can say, that is all I will say.
Yeah, and you and I also had a conversation after the show too, because you guys finished and then we had a couple beers. It was great. You loved the Hank. It was awesome. It was so good.
Oh God, yeah. We threw some darts.
It was an awesome time. But we were talking, and it's like, for the longest time, you and I were in bands that were less than really popular, but more notable than like okay. And we would end up having trouble getting people into NOLA, and then we would have our calls not answered by the Weinberg. So we had to find a middle of the ground place to play that was a bigger room, and there weren't a lot of options at the time. And it's been kind of cool seeing Old Mother just kind of fill up that space, or fill out that space of being kind of just like a all around good vibe music venue that is free. All their shows are free. Most of their shows are free. We'll have some news to share soon.
Wow.
But 99% of their shows are free. They're all ages, 21 plus to drink, right? Like it's and shows are done by 9:30, 10.
Say and early, yeah, and early.
So you have no excuse not to go.
Yeah, it's really great. I think that's the room now. I think that's the room in Frederick now. I got one thing. Say that we had the sort of vision for this type of room in other places in Frederick that we have been, I guess, since I'm on a roll tonight, that we are not necessarily doing much with anymore for one reason or another. But we also had ideas for other places that we don't do anything with now. And I with all that said, I only say that to say that I think the Old Mother thing, like, they got those guys, Keith and Nick, deserve a lot of credit. And I feel like that's a really great room to see music in right now.
Yeah. You can't beat the ticket price. You can't beat the vibe. You get everything that you need: dinner, drinks, and a good atmosphere. Free parking. Come on. Like, you really can't beat it. Speaking of not being able to beat it, we have 4 shows that are announced that we're going to have coming up, because again, Friday and Saturday and a special Tuesday night, we have so many cool bands coming through. So here's what's going on. Now, before you tune out, all of these shows can be found on our website. You just go to
Mm-hmm.
and you can click on the shows link and you can see all of these shows. They have linked to the Facebook events and all that kind of stuff. So the first show I'm going to talk about is a heavy metal show. It's going to be heavy. It's hardcore. It's breakdowns. There's touring bands coming through. So it's going to be Noxious, Resistor on tour from New York, Senseless on tour from New York, Delenda, Colin's favorite local heavy band.
Yeah.
And Indicted. It's going to be a cool show. There's 4 bands and we actually 5 bands.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that was 5 you listed off there. I don't know.
I can't count. So there's 5
Maybe
bands.
It's
definitely the COVID. And it is we don't do 5 band shows ever. So they're all playing short sets and it's going to be sweet. So anyway, so make sure you get there 6:30 Old Mother. This is Saturday, March. Just kidding. Friday, March 24th. Again, check the website. Don't listen to me. Next show we have is Tuesday night. A Tuesday night. What else are you doing on a Tuesday night? It is April 4th. And it's going to be the Vens, friend of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And a band called Stop, Drop, Rewind. They're a prog pop band from Indiana.
Sounds like Coheed and Cambria to me.
It's going to be freaking sweet. They're a 3-piece, so better than Coheed and Cambria. It'll be cool. And then Dumb Valley's going to open up. It's going to be a cool show.
Perfect.
You can't beat that lineup, and it's going to be done by 9:30.
Yeah,
it's a Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. I'll already be in bed for 3 hours by then.
It's going to be so awesome. All right. Then after that, we have Friday, April 14th. And it is Although 3-Piece Fest, friends of the show, which we should get them on the show. They need to come on the show. Kyle and Robbie and their drummer's name I can't remember. Sorry.
It's also 4 days before my birthday, so please send all of your gummy bears to Old Mother Brink care of. Anyway, go ahead.
That'd be fun. They would love that. Colin McGuire at oldmother.com. Anyway, so then it's going to be Friday, April 14th, 4 days before Colin's birthday. It's Although, a band from Baltimore called Slot, featuring a drummer named Max Dietrich, who used to be Gloop fame. So he's coming through and playing. We have Cosmic Halitosis playing.
There we go. Friend of the show. He was on. Matt Henry was on.
Friend of the show. And we have a touring busker named Average Joey that's going to be opening up the show acoustic. So make sure you get there at 6:30. It's going to be a good time. And we have one more show to announce, which is my favorite, and I'm really excited for this. It is Saturday, April 22nd, and it is Mr. Husband, The Return to Frederick. It is the Smashing Times, a trip from Baltimore coming up to treat us with their band that almost sounds like the Smashing Pumpkins. And not only just friend of the show, friend of humanity. Their first show as a band, Good Time Geordie, featuring members of Kitewave and Dumb Valley. It's going to be awesome. So again, That is Saturday, April 22nd at Old Mother. All of these shows are Old Mother. All of these shows are free. All of these shows are 21 plus to drink, all ages to attend, and they will all be done before 10 p.m. You have no excuses. Check everything out on our website, couldbebettermeh.com/shows. Colin, I am excited to get into this interview with Chrome Rodeo. People are tired of hearing us talk. People are tired of listening to us.
Not true.
True.
There's only one time I could say this, so I've got to say this now. I was at Old Mother. I made one of my rare public appearances recently, and I ran into Chris Morris, my favorite drummer in Frederick, that it pisses everybody off. And we hope to have him on the show soon. He's going to be playing with Old Mother. So, I mean, not with Old Mother, with Mr. Husband. So good I'm very, very excited about that. He's going to be playing with Mr. Husband that night. And the other thing too, the only other thing that I have to shout out, there was a fabulous young woman who came up to me and said she really loved hearing me talk drunk on this podcast every week. Chris has ridiculed me for 55 episodes for being too drunk. Sometimes I would say blackout drunk. He would say sometimes too drunk. She enjoyed it. This episode goes out to you and only you.
And this is episode 57 because you're so drunk you can't count. This song is called Smile So Big It Ruined My Day, and it is off of the debut EP by Chrome Rodeo called Summer.
Oh, shit. You don't remember.
No.
Summer goes...
It's Summer Integrity, something summer.
Anybody who comes up to me in public says they listen to this,
do you remember?
I'm so drunk. I'm
not drunk, but I can't remember. It's Summer something. It sent us to us in the pre-show meeting or in the interview. Anyway,
summer's not over.
Yeah, there's gonna be one, maybe 2 songs on here, but definitely one. And this is definitely it. Smile 2. So Big It Ruined My Day by Chrome Rodeo.
days will come and go. Devils on the town will stay up drinking, and I'll wave high and blow them all a kiss, and hit the light switch. But I don't think that I can be honest with myself. Can't win the race with no skin in the game, and endlessly I'll stay in trouble with you now. 'Cause in the bottle here without you, but I'll hit the brakes next year. The careless young driver kills a drunk man just trying to get home. Tomorrow's such a big day. Why don't you just live in the moment? Just write it down on a piece of paper. I promise you'll feel a lot better, better, better than you did. But I don't think that I can be honest with myself. I can't win the race with no skin in the game, and endlessly I'll stay in trouble with you now. 'Cause in the bottle here without you, but I don't think that I can be honest with myself. I can't win the race with no skin in the game, and endlessly I'll stay in trouble with you now. 'Cause in the bottle here, but I'll hit the brakes next year. I promise I'll be better, better. Yeah, I'll hit the brakes next year. I promise I'll be better, better. Yeah, I'll hit the brakes next year. I promise I'll be better, better.
We are here with Chrome Rodeo. Man, Colin, that song was so good.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Beatles.
Did it? Because it reminded me of the Beatles too.
Yeah. Does it remind you guys of the Beatles?
I'm not. I'm going to be honest. I don't like the Beatles.
You're not a
at all.
Beatles fan? What the fuck is this?
No.
And the other dude says he had a shitty time at the thing. I'm already done with this interview. Go ahead, Chris.
So we're here with
I
Britton.
didn't say a shitty. Oh, yeah, sorry.
So we're here with Britton and Jeremy from Chrome Rodeo. So I know who else is in your band, but the internet only seems to show just you two in the band. Who else is in your band that's chose not to come on this podcast?
We're the only ones in the band.
Hell
Maybe
yeah.
B. B can be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing was like, because our last band,
Young and Heartless.
Yes. I just think it's easier to. I've always liked writing with Jeremy, and it's easier and more fun sometimes to just plug and play people, just because you get a different vibe. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean Britton and Jeremy both. I mean we've known each other for, oh god, like 15 years, something crazy,
15 years probably.
Something like that. And it's like we were always from the camp of, and I'm interested if Colin was from the same camp or not. But it's like we were from the same camp. It's like, hey, you meet your bandmates and you never ever kick them out unless they do something terribly wrong. But
or
like
ungodly.
you just. Yeah, or ungodly, or just unfathomable, or we can get into that on a deep cut later. But you guys have always had like a core group of people. Jeremy, with the first band I knew you were in was Icy Monsters, and there's a bunch of characters in that band. And Britton, you were in the band A New Shade of This for a little bit before I guess your main band with Jeremy, which was Judges. So it's like there's a whole lot of context and a whole lot of history there. So it's like at the end of the day, you've learned and you say that this way is better. Yeah.
Mm.
in my opinion. I don't know. I think the nice thing about being in a band is that like everybody has their own input, which sometimes rocks, but sometimes it sucks. But I generally value Jeremy's opinions over most. So like, yeah,
I have an opinion on that, I guess. Like, so at some point in your life, you look at stuff and you're like, okay, was I like good at it, or did I just spend a lot of time at it? And I'd say like after high school, you kind of like jumped right into touring, kind of like jumped right into taking other people's, like watching other bands, doing other bands things, and like, developing your own, you know, skill set on that. Like, cause certainly, I mean, I hope Britton can agree, like, that I'm not like throwing you under the bus or anything, like, but like, I'm not very good at guitar, nor am I very good at singing. But like, I feel like me and Britton have always had a good knack for what is, um,
how
what
do
like,
how do you
what
how to
is,
use it?
yeah, how to use it. Like more like management rather than like the skill or like the talent in some ways. But I don't know. As I get older, I'm like more thinking about that often because like obviously we're not like savants at a craft. Like, like we're not like Carnegie Hall, like, oh no, I'm gonna play guitar for like 10,000 people. It's like, no, it's like, but we clearly work together as a team very well enough to get us to where we went, which was, like not really notable in like a larger scale or anything, but like notable enough for being a local band, I guess.
So how does that work? You guys are the brainchild of the operation, and when other people come in, you're like, I want you to do this, and they do that?
That's how it's worked so far. But we know Corey and B just as long as we've known Chris. So like they've
Too
been
long.
so yeah, too
We
they've been
have
very
enough
helpful.
trust in them. Like we have more trust in
Yeah.
them than anybody else. Like, I mean, but also we've had other musicians jump on our stuff as well, and it's been like, okay, this is sick. Okay, or dial it back, or like, oh, give it more. Like that kind of stuff. It's just like more like director stuff than rather than like actor stuff. I guess.
So
And
is
we're
it
also
like,
giving them credit too. Like they've written
Obviously, yeah,
parts too.
yeah, they've written a bunch of stuff too.
yeah, but I mean, the basis is like technically the ground level is friendship and trust. And then on top of that is like musicality. Cause it's like, you guys know enough people out there. You could send them the stems for stuff and you could say, hey, just play something on this, but there's a level deeper, and not like that you guys are branding yourselves as like best friends, but at the same time, it's like you guys do trust each other and have known each other a long time. And it seems like that's probably the first ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Certainly. Yeah, I have one for that one, Britain. Like it's a lot of times like we give ourselves our own checks and balances. Like if Britain sends me something and he's stoked on it and I'm not stoked on it, but he like is like, hey man, I really like this one. Like then you give it another try, you give it another chance, you give it another you give it another look. Like it's the same thing with when I send him stuff and he's like, snoozer, and I'm like, no, I love this one. Like, I was like, this is my favorite one. He's like, all right, let's give it a shot, and like I'll trust you in this. I mean, I think it's just because we're old. It's not because we like figured out how to make things work better. It's like we just are tired of putting more work in than needed.
Sure. I mean, and just to be clear for people that aren't tuning into the live feed and seeing your gray hair, how old is old, Jeremy?
I don't have any hair, dude. So fuck you.
But I mean, I'm
yeah,
30.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm 31. Colin's 32. How old are you guys?
I'm 30. I'm 32.
I'm 31.
Look at that. All in our 30s.
Early 30s too.
Way early 30s.
Way early 30s. So do you guys ever run into logistic problems? If it's just the two of you and then you're going to go play a show or something, would you have a revolving door of musicians come in? Or are you pretty set on Brandon and Corey and that's it and it goes from there?
I like having them. I think they're great. I mean, I haven't.
Of course they're
really...
great. I'm just like, but do you play any shows with anybody else in the band outside
like,
of them?
Like, I guess, like to ask another question or ask it another way, if you have a show offer for something you want to play and Corey can't make it, do you decline the show?
No, because there's ways around it too. There's like the songs are so like they're like dummy dumb now. Like they're the dumbest. They're some of the best, but also some of the simplest songs we've written. So like they can be dumbed down. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So like
The core of the song is good enough that it sustains like not having all the instruments there.
yeah. But no, like I could see it being 3-piece at some point too. Like if we ever like it was like, oh, you're gonna need to play a big gig, but everybody's sick or everybody's not available. We could just make it really simple too.
So does that like because of that sort of having that luxury in a way, does that mean then, I mean, there's no reason for you guys to ever stop, right? This band will last forever. It's just two of you.
That's the point.
That's the point.
Yeah. So
well, I mean,
yeah,
this
go ahead,
is
Jerry.
also I want to like reference this. Like this is like obviously like B and Corey are like some of the best musicians I've known in my career. Like, so this is not like being like, oh, those guys aren't good enough to join the band. It's like, no, it's just simpler as adults now, just to be like, God damn, like I'm totally over, too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also to give you perspective, I work everywhere for 6 months a year. So like in starting April 1st, I'm away for 11 weeks. So it's not like I can jam. Like I just have to like
Fuck
write
jamming.
stuff.
Let's all agree right now. Fuck jamming.
Yeah,
It's the worst.
I tried
yeah.
it 0 out of 10. I tried it once.
There's
So,
different
Chris,
different strokes for different folks for sure. And that's never really been my thing because like I said earlier, like I'm not really that good at guitar, so I'm not very good at improvising. But I do enjoy hearing it live. That way I can like actually get a feel for like what it's gonna feel like. But like that's after the song's at least formed in some way. I don't know. I'm just rambling.
No. You're also good, and both of you fucking suck because you're both terrible liars and are full of false humility because your songs are good and you're both good at guitar playing. But Jeremy, I was in a side project with you for a hot second, and you hearing guitar parts and working through different parts, it's like you have a good ear for being able to kind of pick parts apart. And I think you also don't give yourselves enough credit because it's like finding the perfect balance between you two of like, you both have interesting ways and different ways of hearing song structure. So when you're both together, it is a really cool marriage. And so for people that, again, have known you as long as I have, it's like, I've seen it in each band and it's like, I can tell when there's songs, I'm like, oh, that's Jeremy and Britt's sweet spot. Or like, oh, like live, like you guys are clicking. And I'm like, oh yeah, Britton really likes that part. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's cool to kind of see these things happen over time. But so you're kind of in the spot now where you're like, hey, this is how we're doing a band going forward. It's working for us right now. I have 2-part questions and one of you can take each one. First is, would you like, let's say there's somebody new trying to start a band. Would you recommend this way? And second,
yes.
I mean, second, to kind of be like in a true look back on where you guys have been. It's like you guys have signed to a major label. You guys have done the whole touring thing where you opened up for Seosin and like have done tons of cool stuff. Full US tours, doing all like the game. Had any of that experience really kind of like led you to like, this is what we want to do and why we want to do it because of like what we did before was bad?
Great. Anything speaking to you?
No, I don't think it's bad. I think that it's just different, man. If I were to like recommend somebody want to start a band like now, if they're 18, just go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, well, now, and also it's like so different now too, because we're sending all these songs back and forth via Logic. It's not like we're in a room together jamming. I don't mind sometimes because sometimes you just need to, like Jeremy said, you just need to hear it live. But like, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't recommend it for like a like we know we know each other so well in like a musical capacity. So I that's the only reason I would recommend it if you had like a full-time collaborator. Like B and Corey do that too. Like they do the same thing. So it's like I don't know. But like if you
I
just want
think,
to like
yeah.
figure
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. You can finish that thought.
Yeah, if it's like your first time like playing with somebody, then no, I would not. Like you could find a guy on the internet and who's a singer-songwriter and try to like fix his songs, but like I feel like you just need to be together and like
Hmm.
I don't know.
You
I
guys
think
earned that connection, right? You guys earned it.
We worked really hard for a long time.
too hard for too long. Yeah. If it's a two-parter, kind of like, I have something to say about the first question, then a little bit more about the second question. Like the first one, to bounce off what Britton was saying, is like, yeah, like do it. Like if you're a young person, do it. Like there's nothing stopping you. Like you don't realize older in life, like you just like there's so many things, little things, like the smallest things that get in the way of your ability to play in a band. And like a like the biggest joke about being in a band is like, oh, eventually I'll make it. And then making it
Yeah.
is not ever really a thing. Like, sure, you can do it more, but like even like I've watched so many friends and so many musicians like they've gotten to that point and they're just like, dude, I'm so over this. I no longer enjoy this thing because it is the grind that, like I'm sure like me and Britton, we ran Judges into the ground. We ran Young and Heartless kind of into the ground. Not into the ground necessarily, just like it's um I'm sorry, that's a bad term for that. Like Judges, I feel like we ran into the ground. Young and Heartless
Perfect.
ran its course. Um
Hmm.
like but the fact that like we were yes guys, that we're just, Britain's booking full US tours, and we're a band that nobody knows, and like we're doing it. It's like you just got to go out and do it, and that's like kind of how you learn. And so to give advice to like younger people of how to do it better, like I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to say that if I was eating out of trash cans, like we're using biodiesel to go across the country in a bus that's like 175 degrees inside? It's like, oh yeah, maybe don't do that, but like those were amazing experiences as well. It's like you can't sub one for the other. And sure, like yeah, like some kid will probably be like, yeah, maybe if I just do a only two people via, you know, via logic, over this, that'll be the better way to do it. Fuck that, dude. Like I'm not into that. Like I'm not into, hey, what's the better way to do it? And I'll follow that. Like, no, find your own way, man. There's no other, it's dumb. Like
Yeah.
punk for life.
Punk for Life. So speaking of Punk for Life, so we just heard a new song that's coming off of the new record that's dropping. So this episode comes out, I believe, on April 16th, tax day. Just kidding, not April 16th, March 16th. So it's coming out March 16th. So this album drops tomorrow, or is it going to drop on Thursday?
I don't know.
Britt?
You used to be able to schedule your it'll be the next day. Let's just say
Okay.
it's the next day.
Yeah. Industry standard, it comes out on Fridays now. It used to be
Tuesdays. I miss
I know.
Tuesdays.
I miss Tuesdays too. So we have so this is coming out so on the 16th. So you hear a brand new song that's not released yet, world premiere. Hashtag that's really cool. But the full EP is coming out. It's 5 songs. Can you kind of tell people kind of what to expect? Does it sound similar to the song we heard already? Is it like the stuff you guys initially released? What's kind of the vibe?
Go ahead, Jer.
I think like we saved the best for last in some regards. I think like some of the better, like I mean, they're all great songs in my opinion, but I don't know.
All
I
different.
had a lot of, yeah, all really different. Yeah.
And they were written at different times in your first batch?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So the way we were doing it is a lot of times I had a nightmare of a job out in San Francisco, and like I had an Airbnb there for about 9 months, and so I was up in my room like sending files back and forth from Britain, and some of the stuff I wrote there, like Well, it's funny. Like, I mean, not to preface anybody knowing Young and Heartless or any of the stuff I've ever written. It's most of the stuff I've written has been incredibly sad, and very, very like minor key. These songs don't really have that vibe anymore because I don't really give a shit anymore. And, it sounds better when it's, happier. And, so if you really listen to the lyrics, they're not really happy songs, but, they feel good. They're feel good songs. Uh,
They're feel good bummers.
yeah, it's the best time of your life that, you'll look back upon and be like, I never get that again.
Hmm. That's
That's why the
perfect.
that's why the next song's called Imaginary Summertime.
Well, but I don't know if we're gonna play that song next. I guess we're probably let's make the executive decision and say you guys get 2 songs on this episode since we are world premiering these songs. Now, in order to do that, though, the password is completing our specialties segment. Chris, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so our season 2 sponsor is Special Tees. You can get 10% off your first order if you use promo code could be better. You can go to special-tees.com and you can get your order of stickers. You can get an order of hats. You can get an order of koozies. You can get an order of shirts. Bands need shirts. Chrome Rodeo, where are you guys putting your shirts?
That's Special Tees, it sounds like.
Specialty sounds awesome. So again, it's 10% off your first order. Tell them that could be better sent you. So we have our specialty segment here where we do a rapid fire 5 questions. Don't take forever to answer them, but don't overthink it and give us some good content.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 1 to 5 word answers, but if you have 500 words, we can work with it.
Yeah. We'll just have to build the next guest. Okay. So my first question for both of you, dumpster diving. Do you still do it?
I did it today.
Yes. What did you dive for?
I got a silverware set.
Whoa. From where?
Yeah, it was right behind my house on the way to the pub. Yeah, it was great. Got that and got a cool flannel for Aaron. It was an amazing find.
That is incredible. Oh,
Britt?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I haven't in a while. I'm not against it. I just don't. One of the last times I did it, I got hives, so I'm just like
Ooh.
nervous too.
Oh, fun story. Can we do a 5-second fun story?
Sure.
Your brother, Chris, one time we were on tour with Girl Fight and we dumpster dived this like local donut place and we found like a whole bag of donuts and we started going crushing them. And then we found a syringe and
you crush that.
And so that kind of put me off dumpster diving for a bit, man.
Yeah, that old Steve would have been like, yeah, it's fine. New Steve would have been like, I'm going to scrub my body until all of my skin falls off.
I just want to be pure.
Yeah, pretty much. Gwen Stacy. Anyway, so the funny thing about the last thing, post-COVID, I can't dumpster dive in good conscience anymore. I used to and used to not feel super bad about it, but COVID stuff just kind of makes me gross. Anyway,
yeah, that's what makes it gross. Sure, guys. That's the one thing that makes it gross. Favorite town you guys have played in?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque?
Shout out to Jake Lang.
He didn't book it.
Fuck that guy.
This was a house show. Sputnik. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
Is that your favorite too?
Yeah.
Britain doesn't want to say Florida, but it's probably Florida.
Played some good shows in Florida.
Yeah, I played some good shows in Florida. But...
you know what I really liked is Blastomat in Denver. I used to like that place a lot.
Tap the Rockies. You're up, Chris.
Bucket list item for Chrome Rodeo. What are you guys wanting to do? Again, you've toured the world and done all sorts of sweet things with other bands. What's on your list for the rodeo?
Sure.
Britain?
One big gig. I want to play one big gig.
One big gig. Yeah, that sounds
at least one big gig.
With who?
Where? With who? Somebody that's big enough for a good crowd, but not so big that they're not going to care about the opener.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe a full length album in a real studio.
Those are a lot of things. That's a whole bucket list right there.
Sure is. We gotta hold up.
I guess I have kind of a bucket list with it. I guess that like we don't get bored of it.
Mm.
Because like I kind of made a promise to myself, and also me and Britton have a history here of like I will. One thing I refuse to do is like I spent like over 10 years of my life doing music. I'm not the kind of guy that like I don't want to like hang it up and be like, yeah, that's who I used to be. You know, like you can deny yourself to a certain extent, but like my passion, my gift is like songwriting. I like love hearing a song come together, and like I love my voice, like I love telling a story in a song. Like I want to hear that. And so like why would I stop when it's like, I have so many other things in my life that can be stopped by physical ailments or like injuries. Like I like mountain biking. I love like working physically in my job. But if those things stop, I'd be like, okay, I'm physically like not able to do those anymore. But like music's one of those most beautiful things where it's like the same as like writing or like poetry in general. It's like there's nothing really stopping you. Like every single day you could do this. Like and like, we fairy tale it up to be this thing that like, only musicians can do, but it's like, I don't know. Wow, I went way off topic there.
Yeah, you're over at 500 words. Colin, give me question number 4.
It's a tour fine. When you were out on the road doing a lot of those things, traveling the country, the world, all of that, is there like I'm not going to limit it to food because food could be very limiting, but is there something like in a town, in a place that you came across that you're like, I will just come back here personally again because I loved this thing. Again, it could be a hamburger somewhere, or it could be something else.
Mm.
These questions are deep, Colin. Speaking to the souls.
That's what I
Britton
do.
always talked about illegal Pete's.
I do like illegal pizzas too. Yeah.
What's illegal Pete's?
Over road burritos?
No.
No, Robert is rules.
No, Rob's is the best. No, but those are Colin. It is actually a burrito chain with one location in Denver and one location in Albuquerque.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah,
and they give
That's
you
why we
free
like
food if you're in a band.
it could not have worked out any better then. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So final
Chris.
question, and Colin, fuck you because you stole my food thing. Sheets or Wawa? And there's only one right answer.
Eats.
Either.
Eat shit, Jeremy.
What did you say? You said Wawa?
He said
I
neither.
Said neither.
Oh,
Neither.
you can't say that. It's Sheets for sure.
Yeah, it's obviously Sheets.
I don't like Sheets anymore, dude. It's overpriced. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, I'm going Wawa 1,000% on this.
I will kind of go with Colin on this one because like Wawa actually puts like, like they want grilled mushrooms in your sandwich. They'll do it. It's
exactly.
Not like, it's not
Which
like out of a microwave. So
and
I mean, it's probably put in a microwave, but sorry.
They also have hamburgers and French fries now, and they're good. They're very good. I know they don't have a fryer. Sheets has fryers,
but all
Wawa,
Sheets does is fry. It's bad.
It's literally all fried.
I'm happy about it, but I'm also, my stomach hurts. All right. So you got what's the new EP called?
Imaginary Summertime.
Imaginary Summertime. And it comes out tomorrow. Britt and Jeremy, I love you guys. It's been so long since I've seen both of you at the same time since the last time I think was probably September when you helped me carry a bunch of beer in from the street. So thanks for playing that show. That was a fun time. It'll never happen again. This next song is called Imaginary Summertime as well, correct?
I think so.
And again, thanks to our sponsors, Texas Roadhouse, Specialties, and obviously our favorite brewery in town, Old Mother Brewing Company. You can't see because of the freaking blur because I'm trying not to show you my basement. Anyway, thank you all for coming on. Please buy their record. Do you buy records anymore? Will you have a Bandcamp or do you just stream?
We'll do Bandcamp.
Don't even bother.
Yeah, don't even bother. All right. Thank you guys for coming on. Chrome Rodeo, Imaginary Summertime. This is it.
Could Be Better podcast is allegedly heard in 25 different countries around the world, and definitely still not recorded in a bedroom.
Yeah, okay. Still, check out our worldwide website, www.couldbebettermeh.com, for links to our social media and our fancy brand new revamped YouTube channel that now has actual video.
And if you don't like what you see, well, neither do we. But if you want to hear from smarter, better, more educated and cultured people, please check out the new podcasts. This Is Not My Magnum Opus and The Weekly with Kiki on our brand new Could Be Better podcast network. And don't hesitate to leave us or them, actually, probably just them, a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, Chris, did I miss anything?
Yeah, man, we do a lot of shows. Whatever.
Well, can I find them on our website?
I'm Chris Perry.
And I'm Colin McGuire, and we are out of time. So for now, remember everybody, this always could be better.